don't go that high anymore. For rendering reasons. Piece of shit. Beat Hazard gave you a headache? I never played Beat Hazard. My ex really liked that game. But, chat room. You have something I need you to do for me. Say hi, YouTube. You know, I took one look at Hyperdemon and went, nope. This looks cool, but nope. Nope. Nope, not happening. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. I respect that it exists, but nope, not for me. Won't do it. All right, so now that we've all said we've welcomed to the YouTubes, we are gonna dive back in. So now I just need to figure out which fucking map it is, because I got too many saves here, including like a bunch of audience saves. So, it's the one with like a ludicrous. Unless I continue active game, yes. Ironshore, there it is. This one, Region 11. I've got too many worlds. I need to delete some. Sounds like it's time for a new save. What, that I couldn't find my old one? It's the mythical plane. We ain't redoing this one anytime soon until it starts breaking. There's no story, so it's not interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel this very similar ways about conveyor belt management games, Joe Diamonds, that I do about open world survival crafting games. I really enjoy them until I finish the first level of recipes, and then I just don't want to play it anymore. And that's how I go with those games. They are folders for saves. I just have a lot of saves, yeah. But I think that there needs to be, like, last played surface to the top at the very least. So, this fortress is on a beach. And once again, I will remind everybody why ASCII beaches are superior currently. Because you can see the waves. Glorious! Glorious. All right, so we need to name a dwarf for cold-blooded. And also, I need to give you a brief fort tour. Also, apparently we're about to hit ads. So what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to name a dwarf for cold-blooded, and then we will do a fort tour. Cold-blooded, do you know what kind of dwarf you want? You need a nap? Go take a nap then, Tropic Communist. Apparently, it's every 30 minutes. Or unless you're talking about the dwarf redeeming. This was right at the very beginning. I haven't actually turned them on yet. Glassmaker. Well, I have several glassmakers. Beard is optional. Okay, well, I'll give you the first unnamed glassmaker on the list then. You are bitter after getting into an argument. I put an extra L in there and missed an O. Cold-blooded. We'll read your description and then we'll do the fort tour. All right, so you're 87 years old. Personality-wise, he is frustratingly sloppy and careless with every task he sets to carry out. He feels best when everyone gets along without any strife or contention. And he is moved by art and natural beauty, and he is troubled by this, since he dislikes the natural world. He is practical. He likes to keep things practical and without delving too deeply into the abstract. And he often acts with compassion. He can handle stress and occasionally overindulges and generally acts with a narrow focus on the current activity. And he tends to be a little wasteful when working on projects and does not go out of his way to help others. And he has a greedy streak. Currently more rude and currently more fearless. Needs alcohol to get through the working day. And he is a hardened individual. Dreams of raising a family and likes selenite, gray chalcedony, peach wood, and water buffalo leather and lynx bone. Circles and figurines and goblets and the words of the Tomb of Dying, and the sight of the mellow intricacy, and when possible prefers to consume sailfin molly and cassava beer and teff flour, and absolutely hates hamsters. and worships Risen, and you have a couple of friends and a few passing acquaintances, and you're not part of any religion, but you are a member of the Craftsdwarfs Guild, and you're of course a member of the Constructive Orb, a dwarven civilization. Why do you think he's sus? What's sus about him? Likes to consume Molly. Tosses out the sailfin portion. All right, so 30 seconds on ads. Let's just clear all these. Nope, not really, Mid-Jones, because I don't care. I'm not an efficiency person. Sometimes I'll do it for tutorials, but do I actually care about doing that in my fort? No, not at all. I generally just let items sit in the workshops. I don't care if it makes them less efficient. From an army of demons if hell is still open? In the current game? No, because I haven't done it myself. What I used to do is I used to just make long hallways with ballistas at the end of them and fire them through fortifications, 3, 4, 5 ballistas, give them a reason to go up into the hallways, and then just fire them down and try and cut as many of them up as possible, train up as good of a military as possible, and then slam them with the military once a bunch of them are damaged. Because at least previously, they didn't capture doors permanently, so I would just have, like, various doors that I would lock and unlock as needed. But the fortress itself is a surface fortress on the shore of a lovely beach. Now, this beach is supposedly haunted, although it doesn't really reek of much evil, aside from the fact that it's just kind of makes spooky sounds from time to time. So, you know, it's a pretty normal ocean, generally. If I turn the numbers off, it's easier to spot animals. So we have a brook lamprey right there, which is a ugly little critter. Animal! Or not, not animal. Cooler, thank you very much for the 57 months. I read that completely wrong. Hey, a seahorse, look at that. And shoutouts to Woot Woot for keeping that sub alive, right? For Cooler, who did all of the art for this channel, by the way. Up here at the top, we have our outdoor Cooler equals animal confirmed. Cooler equals Blind's brain shut off for a second and forgot what name he was looking at confirmed. That's all it really is. So if we look at this, as you can see, most dwarves have beds, some don't. We do need to go through and build more bedrooms, though, because we just got more population. And this is a very slow, arduous process, so we probably are going to spend the next, 2 hours just building bedrooms. You hear the keybinds are nice? What, for the older version? I don't think it's worth going back and learning the older version. And I'm going to be pretty blunt about this. The older version is not going to get updates. Right? Classic will, which is version 5.
W-O-O-T-W-O-O-T for my sub gift.
But unless you are playing for adventure mode, I don't think there's any reason to go back to version 47. Because the new UI is going to be the status quo going forward. The old UI, no. So I don't see any reason to go back to the old UI. But that's just me. I do prefer the old keybinds in a lot of ways, but I prefer them because it's like riding a bicycle, right? If you've ridden a specific type of bicycle your whole life, and then suddenly the world decides that instead of riding bicycles, we're all going to ride electric scooters, you're going to be like, man, fuck that. But electric scooters go faster. So actually, it's more like you've ridden a unicycle your whole life, and then the entire world decides that we're going to ride electric scooters instead. That's more what it is. It's like you've ridden a unicycle your whole life, and you're perfectly used to riding a unicycle, but the entire world one day just decided, we're going to ride electric bikes. Or electric scooters. And you're like, but my unicycle. So it's like, do you want to learn how to ride a unicycle? No problem, Freak Pondor. No problem. So, I don't know. It's up to you. I wouldn't, but you do you. Mindless Todd, thanks for the prime. So this is our upper bedroom layer. We're going to go up one more layer, and we're going to just keep going up. We're also going to do a bedroom layer down here. So I think this will be the first bedroom layer we're going to do for today is down here. And then we're going to work our way up and build up here. That's going to be the next little bit. Will your dwarves jump in the lava? No. You have to do more tricks to make them jump into lava. Why are you trying to make your dwarves jump into lava? Put them all on a drawbridge above lava that's retracting, and then retract the drawbridge if you want to throw them all in lava. I drowned an entire fort in lava like that once, so I made them all stand on a platform with a support, and then they fell in. And I did that because we were a cult. And leaders said jump. Down here we have our tavern. We have our small farming setup, and we have our mayor's offices, which definitely are unfinished. We have our the bearded skunk, which is the stinky farmers guild, as well as food supply over there on the right. As we go down, we have our kind of this is where we're getting all of our boulders from layer. We have a very little metal and glass industry, as well as some carpentry. If we go down a little further, you'll see that we kept hitting aquifers, and I kind of got mad and kind of gave up on the stairs at a point. But right here, we've got a bunch of temples, and then we got 2 more guild halls, and then some more areas that we were taking up, desperately looking for gems for an artifact. We also have this layer down here where we're mining more stuff, where we've found platinum nuggets, which I'm quite happy about. How do you give an item to a specific dwarf? Largely, you don't. But if they are a noble, you can click on this crown and you can assign specific artifacts to the noble. So, like, we could assign this ring to this noble, just as an example. But we still need to make you a armor rack, a weapon rack, and an armor stand. So I'm actually just gonna queue up rock rack, weapon rack. Fine. We'll just do 10. And rock armor. Actually, you know what? We'll do 11 instead of 10. Which is actually how many we need. All right, so let's just queue up a bunch of bedrooms before I do anything else. Because today, priority number 1 is make this number go down. Make this number go down. Less depressed dwarves, better the fort. How do you keep birds out of the fort? Build a roof. Well, they might be like just dive bombing in through the what's the word? They might be dive bombing in through the front door, so they may already have a roof. I would say make sure that there's like no way for them to get into the fort, which is just like kind of the duh response to that, but it's kind of the best one I got. Kia stole my homework is definitely a dwarven ballad. That's more like, but Guildmaster, the Kia stole my homework. No, it didn't, Tekid. No, it didn't. The cat ate it. Stream bugged? I don't know what you mean by stream bugged. As far as I can tell, the vast majority of the time, if one person's like, hey, stream not working, stream's probably still working. If everybody in chat spontaneously starts screaming, stream's not working, stream's definitely not working. I really need to fill this out, don't I? Actually, the best thing to say is actually Steam's working. What are you talking about? Steam's working just fine. I just bought a video game. It's called Dwarf Fortress. You should check it out. Twith? You know, I was going to make a bad joke out of that, but you know what? I'm not going to. Ever run into an issue where you couldn't find any adamantine? Adamantine is guaranteed, so unless you're playing on some ancient version of the game from like 2003, That's actually very inaccurate. From like 2013, you should have adamantine on your map. So just look harder. Erie BR, what up? What's a sign of maturity? Wanting to make a joke and then not? I mean, I guess. I'm assuming is what you're referring to. Speaking of, Erie, did you see the, that there's a new Knucklecracker game? Punk Puck, what up? Thanks for the prime. I love watching DF, especially Craig Smash's stuff, but, and yours, but really struggling to get into the game yourself. How so? Alright, how many blocks across does this go? Starting there. What, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? That's easy. 3 entire levels from the very bottom of the map. Go higher up then. It's not necessarily at the very bottom of the map. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I guess so. There's a bunch of overlapping going on. For at least a year. I mean, that's how those games work, though. I'm already sold, though. Took one look at it and was like, yep, I'll play that. That looks fantastic. I'm in. Yeah, I guess the way we'll do this is this. We'll keep it lopsided because the starting part is lopsided, so. Because of the entry right there. Just getting bored quickly. It might be with your low attention span, like you're struggling to find stories within your dwarves. What are you looking for? Like, because like the thing about Dwarf Fortress is, it's a game. It's not like you sit down and stories are given to you, right? You have to go out of your way to find them. Like Krug Smash is a good example, right? Because I find it hard to watch some Krug Smash videos. Not because his videos are bad. I think they're extremely well done. But because I see where he's pulling the strings. It's very much a game where it's like, all right, I see what you're doing here. I get it. I like it. It's creative, but I see what you're doing here. And because of that, it's actually quite hard for me to watch some of his stuff. To a point where I will just not watch his videos for pretty long periods of time. Because I get it. I know where he's pulling the strings. Hoodie Hair is also another one that I would recommend watching as well, if you want a little bit more chaotic misguidance instead of like more in-depth storytelling. But if you're playing expecting the game to feed you a narrative like Krug Smash, you're not going to get that. Because the game doesn't give you that narrative. Like 60% of what Krug Smash does in his games is just him bullshitting. Right? Like, a large portion of the game for him is just bullshitting. He's creating stories, he's coming up with ideas, he's inventing narratives, and he's enjoying himself. That's how he plays the game. It requires, and the reason why I say that playing Dwarf Fortress is like playing D&D with yourself is you're the DM. You have to write the story. Right? There is no process where the game's like, all right, I'm going to write you a story. That doesn't exist. You have that feeling when Ambiguous plays Project Zomboid, you know the game too well. Yeah, exactly, Civ. Like, if you know a game super well, it can sometimes be difficult to enjoy other people playing the game because you're like, you're doing this wrong, you're doing this wrong, you're doing this wrong. All right, I see what you're doing here, I see what you're doing here, I see what you're doing here. And that's not a bad thing. So I guess my question is, what are you looking for? Are you looking for that perfect story every time? Because you're not going to get it every time. Are you just trying to build a cool fortress? Maybe just try to build a cool fortress. My advice to you would be, if you want to get something out of Dwarf Fortress, set a goal, right? And that goal could be, hey, Padinsky, I hope your stream was good last night. I was lurking for a bit before I passed out. I fell asleep at 9 p.m. yesterday. What is this madness? If you're playing Dwarf Fortress and you're not finding a narrative, set a goal. And that goal could be, I want to have the king of the, and I want to be the mountain home. That goal could be, I want to exterminate all goblins. That goal could be, I want to be at a careful peace with the goblins. That goal could be, I want to build this faction up. I would recommend looking at Legends a little bit. Read a little bit about Legends. Rogue Phoenix, thank you very much for the Prime sub. I would recommend approaching it from that direction. Set a goal before you start. Because if the Krug Smash does this, he sets a goal, right? But he doesn't tell the audience this, right? Like with Scorch Fountain, his goal is like, I want to become the Baron. But he doesn't tell you that. He knows that. Or like the one he did after Scorch Fountain, which I always forget the name of, he wanted to turn his whole fort into an army of undead. But he doesn't tell you that, right? He knows what he wants to do beforehand, but he doesn't tell you that, right? So don't read the stories. Don't look for a story. Set a goal. Let the narrative come from that. And immediately died to a human visitor. I got a Baron in my last fort, which immediately got eaten by a vampire, so I feel you. Just trying to make an underground tree farm, and I've heard weird, like, I'm starting to think that underground tree farms are bugged right now. Like, there's some weird stuff going on with those currently. I'm wondering if they grow properly, because I haven't tried it myself, but I've seen a lot of reports of people having issues with them. Migrants have arrived and I'm crying. No, I know what you mean. Having enough bedrooms is just like real life. Housing? It's quite the challenge. Okay, which corners am I missing? We'll just knock those out and get this done. So up here, I think I'm actually going to do ramps, because I think that they'll look better. Ramps out of claystone. Also, this song is really good. Just saying. Is this fort going to be mostly above ground? Mostly. Not all of it, but mostly. Because chat was accusing me of never building above ground, so fucking I'm building above ground. Also, hey, Clinodev. Hope your day's been good. Playing DF as in DM. Playing DF as DMing for yourself is a great comparison. Yeah, and if you're a crappy DM, you might have a boring time. How to build a fortress that reaches so far to the sky that it can be seen from a nearby mountain? I mean, you don't really. I guess I don't really understand what you mean by that. I mean, just build up. Just having lunch? Hell yeah. Time zones, animal. Time zones. Let me tell you about them. Actually, let me not. I'm not the person to tell you about them. Do ceiling forts still work? I don't know what you mean by ceiling fort. Is there a way to create levitating fortresses? Turn off cave-ins and then build away. Literally that. Turn off cave-ins and then build. Have fun. You have to go into your settings to do that. Is there a way to build a staircase up into an unexplored layer? You can build up, but it's really difficult. Is the easiest way. Like, you just have to go into the build menu and then build up, right? But if you're asking about, like, connecting to something, that's difficult. So what I would do is I would build up to a layer and then start digging from there. Just don't accidentally turn off cave-ins and forget, because your fortress will disappear real quick. Yeah, you can support a whole fort with a single pillar. But if you want truly levitating forts, just turn off cave-ins. That's the best way to do it. Although there was one time ages ago where Tarn posted on the future of the fortress where he was like, what if we could, you know, like mine clouds to make floating fortresses? And like everybody just kind of was like, Anyway, Mists and Magic isn't going to be out for a while, so don't get too excited. Fuck me, more migrants. God damn it. Ah. Anyways, let's build these doors. I wonder how big this migrant wave's going to be. I think it's safe to say that we saved this faction, chat. At least for now. Mine Gravitite. I don't think that's a thing, but noted. Shoutouts to the dwarf that gets the bigger bedroom there. I think I should manually assign that to somebody of note. Did I run out of beds? Holy heck, we ran out of beds. All right, time to make more beds. Work orders, bed. Let's just make 150. I think work order of making bed is something that my mom used to make me do when I was little. Bedroom, multi. Whoop. All the way across. Done. More 50. We got 15 more. Well, that's not bad. Do traps work underwater? I've never tried. My Fist. Hello. You're new to DF, enjoying a lot of my content. What happened to Deep Orb? It died to a weird bug where everything refused to work, which is hopefully going to get fixed. Hopefully, like, soon. Because it's a disturbingly bad bug. My mom is Armok? I'm pretty sure in Dwarf Fortress, the player is Armok, and my mom doesn't play Dwarf Fort, so that would be mighty difficult for my mom to be Armok. What, you mean like out in the world? I think it's just the 3 that got taken out, which was like while I settled. But most of them are still there. They all have a population of 20. Although supposedly one of them is getting marched on right now, so we'll see. She is the Armok of my life. Not really, because I wouldn't describe my mom as a god of blood, but, you know. So let's build some stairways up. Let's see if the game lets me do this. Yeah, okay. So we're able to build up another layer. Why is there soldiers just out? Oh, because they're humans that were trading with us, right? So I may need to move my guard pig, chat. That's a sentence I just said out loud. Because we're building bedrooms here now. Sorry, guard pig, but we're going to need to move your post. Literally. Not the guard pig? Oh, the guard pig's great, but, like, we might need to move it up a layer. It's like reason to get the ceilings installed quickly. Also, how's things, Ryan? Oh, there's the spooky ocean sounds. Hear that? It's a very ominous ocean. We fear it deeply. Just like the ocean, which is also very deep. Gotta oink it away. Oh, no. I don't think I said that. Are you making up words that I said for comedic sake? I don't know how I feel about this animal. Let's see if they can get all this built. Let's get a roof built over top the whole thing. How can you breathe from that thing? How can you breath from that thing? I don't know what you mean. Later, Bastet. Stay, what, the guard pigs? I mean, currently the guard pig is blocking us from building the wall. It's very dedicated to its job, honestly. Like, look, the dwarves suspended the construction of this wall because the guard pig is insisting on standing at its post. I can see the chunk borders on the mini-map from here. I mean, we're gonna move the pig up here. Also, I wonder if the bug of, like, them wearing the rope that they were chained to still persists. So there used to be a bug in the game where if you had a chained up animal and you deconstructed the chain, they would just wear the chain around their neck for the rest of their lives. And you couldn't remove it. And you also couldn't reconstruct the chain because the game considered it built still. And I wonder if that bug still persists. Kinky, I suppose. Let's make 2 more bedrooms. All right. How many dwarfs? A lot of dwarfs need beds. He moved? Did he? Okay, we can move him now. Looks like there's like 1 or 2 tiles that got suspended here. I like that they're preferring to take the ramp up on the outside here than they are to take the central stairs. I guess it is technically closer. Remember the bedrooms from the last community fort? Yeah, kinda. I mean, obviously I remember because I recorded it like on Christmas, but well, did I record it on Christmas? No, I recorded it on Boxing Day. Boxing Day I recorded it. All right. Yeah, the first bit of today's stream is going to be a lot of construction. All right, let's get another rope/chain built over here. It's going to be a pigtail rope. It's going to be fitting that we're going to attach the piggy to the pigtail rope. So, chat, how do you guys like the Vile Forts of Darkness emotes? Because I really like them, and I've been seeing them popping up in other people's streams, which is good. It's what, for the pigtail ropes? I don't think that's a yikes. I think the pig knows its job, and I think the pig respects it. Oh, does it not tell me what pig is currently assigned to a chain? Well, Piggy, we're going to have to retire you from your job and put a new pig onto the thing because there's no way to see what pig was assigned previously. You think they're great? Hell yeah. Nickname the pig? I don't think you can. Test. Yeah, you can't. Or it doesn't show up anyway. It's okay. This pig can have a break. We can assign a new pig. Ham radar deserves a nice room. Should we make ham radar a specific room for up here? Because we could. So will there ever be multiplayer in Dwarf Fortress? No. And it's not in the works. It's not planned. It's not something the devs want to do. Stop asking. Is genuinely the response that the developers have whenever people ask them about multiplayer. This is a game that began development in 2002, runs in its own custom engine, has absolutely no functionality for multiplayer built in, and you shouldn't ask. There are mods that allow for consecutive co-op, but they're all shit as far as I'm concerned, and I don't understand why people want them. Like, it's really not the intended purpose of the game. Would a window affect a pig's vision range? It shouldn't. And we did make some windows, I think. I'm pretty sure I queued up a bunch yesterday. I don't know how many we ended up with, but... 19, apparently. Are glass walls transparent? Sort of. I was actually going to build some walls down here. So that we could look into the... into the farms from the tavern. Seems fitting to me. Speaking of furniture, we need to go over to military. We need to grab ourselves some weapon racks. And a armor stand. For the pig would be funny, like an airport tower thingy. I mean, we could definitely rate our pig up. You know, if someone figures it out, Hidden Boss, I will be fascinated. But no, it's written in C and C++, and it's a stack of C and C++, so it's not native on either. And it's written from ground up in its own engine. Yeah, this game's never going to have multiplayer. Like, never. So it boggles my mind that people ask for it. The best way to play Dwarf Fortress in multiplayer, if you want to play Dwarf Fortress in multiplayer, is one of two things. Play with a bunch of friends, because you need that for multiplayer. And pass a save file around. One person plays for a year, one person plays for a year, one in-game. One person plays for a year in-game, one person plays for a year. It's the classic way. The other, more modern way is just play simultaneously with a bunch of people on Discord streams. It's not a game that works in multiplayer, really. It's called turn-based, Kenseko. Come on. And never, ever label your levers. Absolutely. And definitely build in traps for your friends. There's 5 levers and all of them are labeled incorrectly and one of them insta-floods the fort. Have fun! But no, I just... Have fun figuring it out. Well, here's the thing. You want to know a trick with levers? So if you click on a lever, right? And you go show linked buildings, floodgate. It's a skill issue now if you flood your fort. I've mentioned Odd Realm before. Did I like that game? I wouldn't mention a game I didn't like unless I explicitly stated that I didn't like it. Also, this lever is going to be linked to the front door. It's new for this version, yep. Oh, that is exactly what Boat Murdered is. It's called a Legacy Fortress. It's been a thing in the Dwarf Fortress community for a long time for a reason. Also, I'll be back in a sec. Gotta go do something. I think the reality is that there's 3 different kinds of people in the world. I think that there's 3 different kinds of people in the world. I think there are people with friends, and then there are people that don't have friends, and then there are people that have friends and they want to hide from them sometimes. If you have friends, you want all of your games to have your friends in them at all times, right? And then there are people who have friends that want to hide from them sometimes. And then there are people that don't have friends. Dwarf Fortress is perfect for people that have friends and you want to hide from them sometimes. Because you can just be like, I want to do something that my friends just can't interact with me and can't pester me for a bit. So you play Dwarf Fort. Then there are people that have friends, and you're like, man, I want my friends to be in my games all the time. So Dwarf Fortress is perfect because you can share save files with them. And then there are people who don't have friends. And Dwarf Fortress is perfect because you don't need to have friends to play Dwarf Fort. I think that games that always have multiplayer or require multiplayer are terrible if you're any of those. Because you can't... Confirmed, I played Dwarf Fortress to hide from blind. You live in a different city halfway across a fucking continent. SimCity 4 was terrible? Yes. Actually, I think you're thinking SimCity 5. SimCity 2013. That's the oak? Okay. SimCity 4 is fantastic. Only share ASCII screenshots when you... Yeah, friends don't tell friends that the graphics exist. Hey guys, did you hear that they released Dwarf Fortress on Steam? Yeah, it's super approachable and easy to get into. They redid all the UI. Seriously though, this looks amazing. All right, so what was I doing? Right, things. Let's get the work orders sorted. We need coffers, 50. And we need cabinets. Also 50. Are we doing all right? Head's a little fuzzy. I just went and inhaled some sugar. Hopefully that helps. There's a starving horse in my tavern. Typical Wednesday. There's also a goat, horse, sheep, cow. Man, these migrants brought a lot of stuff. There was only 8 of them, yet they brought a lot of stuff. All right, so I still need like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. No, I still need like another 15 bedrooms. That's actually not impossible. That is totally doable. The question is, how many blocks? I don't have any blocks queued up. That's the problem. Rock block. Let's do 500. Let's do 1,000. Except I'm gonna make them all claystone. I don't even know if I do not have enough claystone to make 1,000 blocks. Well, time to mine more claystone. Let's go to this area and mine more claystone. Friends, I tell a friend's Steam, and he's started to Dwarf Fortress. Oh, wait, so hold on a second. You told your friend about the game, and your friend started to play, or you told your friend about Steam, and then they started to play. Regardless, if you got a friend to play Dwarf Fort, congrats. You did it. You've now lost a friend. But also, Dwarf Fortress is doing better, which is good. Lost a friend as in you'll never speak with them again. Unless you play a Succession Fort in like 5 years. It's better to build walls out of bricks because they don't need to mine as much because bricks are more efficient. You get 4 bricks per boulder. So it's much more efficient in your resources. And because bricks and boulders are technically limited, you kind of want to be careful. you'd love to watch. So here's the thing. I've pitched it to a couple over the years, and every time I've gotten a eh. And then I've had a couple pitch it to me, and then it's always at the worst possible time when I'm super busy, and I kind of go, meh. So my plan is to do something in that sort, but probably do it for charity and do it with a really big group of streamers over a couple of days, and it won't be for a bit. But probably. It'll happen. He was the one telling you about Dwarf Fortress like 10 years ago? Oh, did he not know that Steam like version existed at all? This was like their first discovery of it? That's kind of wholesome. No, I was asked to take part in a couple by other streamers, and it's always when I'm super busy. Unless you miss the context of succession forts. How does the beauty / value of a room works? You engrave a pillar. Is it 4 times the value compared to a wall? I don't actually know in regards to engraving. I go strictly based off of item values. So like if you select an item, it says the value. I don't know about walls. Like this glass window is valued at 660, screen glass value, or 66 rather, not 660. 66, whatever that is. Oh, that's okay. I understand what you mean now, Rolf. I understand what you mean. You got it for Christmas, and you've been learning through my channel. Kind of funny comment I got from Tarn Adams actually when I spoke with him in DMs very briefly a couple days ago, right before Christmas, and he said that it's a weird concept to him that people will be giving other people Dwarf Fortress for the holidays. It's like it's a really weird concept thinking that people will be giving people Dwarf Fortress for Christmas. Look at that, platinum bars. I like it. Give the gift of fun. And mysteriously disappearing free time. I've taught you so much. Yeah, I like to think that I'm a really good spot for people who are just starting out, you know? But I haven't really dove into a lot of the deeper mechanics, which I think is alienating a few people. I need to get into that, though. I've just been streaming so much, and I've just been so tired. I really, like, killed it on the first 2 weeks. You were good, you get 1 AAA game. You were bad, you get Dwarf Fortress. I guess I should be bad, then. Also, Craig's, thanks for the Prime. Yeah, no, totally. There's just only so much you can do in a month before you just kind of burn. Thinking of 666, that's the number of viewers we have right now. Well done, chat. It's good to be bad. It's always been good to be bad. It's certainly more profitable. Just ask any CEO. But, I mean, it also depends on your definition of good and your definition of bad, then. Ooh. You know what to do, chat. A force that is vile and dark has arrived, and I don't see them. Oh, they're there. I guess it's time to test our military. It seems rather small. A couple goblins, bowmans, crossbowmans. No, you don't, Inglonius. But now you do. Alright, well. I guess it's time to send in the Walled Prestige. A squad of silver-hammered and copper-clad soldiers. Not the strongest of military garb, but hopefully we'll be able to increase our military prowess after this siege because we'll get some Goblinite. The squad, I'm sure, is booking it towards them. We shall follow them. As I scroll down the wrong menu for a second. Kill goblins! Excellent. Seeing snatchers as well, who are running away, which is probably a good sign. Let's just check their bags real quick. No kids in the bags, that's good. Sockzul is taking the lead. They all have silver warhammers, yeah. It's the first goblin goes down in the fighting. After a quick glance. Flying iron arrow misses the hammer dwarf, and the goblin says, "The battle rages, I'm not scared." The hammer dwarf bashes the goblin bowman in the lower body with the silver warhammer, bruising the muscle and bruising the guts through the leopard leggings. Leopard leather. They've got leopard print, chat. We don't eat goblin. What? It's disgusting. Why would you eat such a thing? I like the fact that they're wearing leopard print. That's funny. A ligament has been bruised and a tendon has been torn, and the goblin says, "Death! I am so distressed by this." The hammer dwarf bashes the goblin bowman in the lower body with her silver warhammer, bruising the muscle and bruising the pancreas through the leopard leather leggings. How high do those leggings, hold on. So, like, pancreas is, like, lower are they wearing those, like, up to nipple level? Like, how high are those leggings going? It's a very, true, it might just be a very heavy hammer. Full nipple, like, it's like, it's going all the way up to the nipple. It's like chest-high leggings. These are German. Oh, good lord. Anyway, so this stack of dwarves is pile driving a goblin into the ground so hard that he can't feel his forehead anymore, from the ground up, and the rest are all running like a bunch of pansies. So I think we won. It accentuates the butt. Yes. Okay. Gotcha. Oh boy. There appears to be a blacksmith running around, so let's just claim everything. It's a good thing I literally just built some atom smashers. We gotta build a defensive structure. I think I'm gonna build a defensive structure around here. I think that's what we're gonna do. After we get everybody bedroomed, we're gonna get more migrants, but we're gonna try and build a defensive structure. Atom smasher? Oh yeah. How else do you think we're gonna get rid of these bodies? Dwarven atom smash is like basic dwarven, like, advanced engineering. It's a drawbridge. You crush stuff with it. It's pretty simple. I don't really want to dig all the way down to lava again, so I was just going to do water, something. So we could either... use minecarts, or I could harness the ocean. I kind of want to just harness the ocean and just build, like, water jets with the ocean. But I wouldn't need to dig that far down. Basic advanced engineering. Yeah. See, you know what I mean. I don't want to dig that far down. So I was thinking that I just clear cut this, channel it down like 5 layers, and build a big old reservoir and use floodgates. And just go... You just throw stuff in lava? I mean, if you can crush it with drawbridges, so if you haven't dug all the way down to lava, it's perfectly functional. Well, let's clear cut. Clear cut. So as long as we don't get attacked by the undead, we'll be totally fine. Totally fine. So I'm just going to let them chop down some trees first. No, not at all. Except for spooky sound effects that come from the spooky biomes, which I'm actually quite disappointed by. Quite disappointed by. Not gonna lie. Quite disappointed by. Raftwood? Well, we saw an octopus. It was kind of spooky looking. That's kind of spooky. The Etten, Jabugostrum, must have been chasing those goblins because has come a towering humanoid with 2 heads. All right. We'll go out and beat it to death too. Fine. Did it bring anything cool? Ooh, it did. Hold on. It's got 2 cool things. All right, we'll start at the bottom. This is a copper spear. All craftsmanship is of the highest quality. It is decorated with spore tree and nether cap and encircled with bands of cow bone, and it is coated with water. All right, sweet. The second thing it's got is an iron warhammer. All craftsmanship is of the highest quality. It's decorated with giant rat bone, and on the item is an image of lentil plant in naked moldog bone. It's coated with water. But then there's Akin Rafut. A shirt slab. All craftsmanship is of the highest quality. The slab reads, "The secrets of life and death." It is coated with water. You know, can dwarves even read slabs? So, this fucker just robbed a demon. And has 5 children? Hold on a second. I don't think I've ever seen that before. It's a necromancy slab, yep. With the secrets of life and death. That's interesting. I need to pay attention to that. That Ettins can have kids. But yeah, I don't know if dwarves can actually read those. Anyway, let's go beat this thing to death. You don't think slabs count? Yeah, I don't think they do that. No, it literally has... So, massive Dwarf Fortress spoilers that will commence as long as I'm full screen. You can mute. The very beginning of every single world, demons come up from the underground, okay? And when the demons come up from underground, they write the secrets of life and death on slabs, and that's how they bind themselves to the main world, right? They also write their name on a slab, right? So in adventure mode, that's how you learn secrets of life and death, is by reading it on a slab generally, or from a book. It's easier to just find a slab. The name that they also bind themselves to the world with, and usually on these slabs it says their name as well, but for some reason in this description it doesn't state it, which is strange. It says their name, as well as the secrets of life and death. That's how you enslave demons and kill entire factions off in adventure mode, sort of. Not really kill, well, enslave entire factions, shall I say. So you want to be like the god of the goblins, enslave a demon. All right, but obviously we can't do that because we're not in adventure mode yet. And where are my dwarfs at? There it is. The Etten. Let's see how this fight goes. The militia commander attacks the Etten, but she jumps away. The Etten strikes the militia commander, but the shot is deftly parried. I really want to get that mod that makes the real-time kill log. Slab made in China. What? All right, the Warhammer, the Hammer Dwarf, bashes the Etten in the upper body with his silver Warhammer, bruising the muscle. I do like that you can jump to the actual location that the fights happened. The Hammer Dwarf bashes the Etten in the upper right leg with his silver Warhammer, bruising the muscle. I do hope that they change the game so that we can unpause in this menu, because that would be real cool, watching these pop up in real time. All right, that's old. Let's jump up to the Etten. The Etten misses the Hammer Dwarf. The Hammer Dwarf bashes the Etten in the right lower arm with the Silver Warhammer, bruising the muscle. What is adventure mode? The other third of this game that's not in the game yet. So, since I'm assuming most of you know about cool indie games, everybody says that Dwarf Fortress is like RimWorld, right? Well, not really, but adventure mode is like Kenshi. It's a party-based open world RPG in the worlds you generate. Evening, Flappy Turd. The Etten says, so easily broken, begone fear. Which head is saying that, though? I wish it would specify which head, unless it's like speaking in unison, which would be like this creepy kind of echoey sound. The Hammer Dwarf bashes the Etten in the lower body with the Silver Warhammer, bruising the muscle and bruising the right kidney. The Hammer Dwarf then bashes the Etten in the upper leg with her Silver Warhammer, bruising the fat. The Hammer Dwarf then scratches the Etten in the right hand. In the right head? Oh, in the right head. With the fat... tearing the fat and bruising the muscle. The Etten strikes at a Hammer Dwarf, but the shot is deflected by his Silver Warhammer. The Etten then charges the Hammer Dwarf, but the Hammer Dwarf jumps away. The Hammer Dwarf strikes the Etten, but the shot is blocked deftly by their named hammer. And they seem to get it on the ground and they kill it. So you should unforbid its items. We're going to build that slab. Do you think that we should leave the slab next to the guard pig? As I think we should leave the slab next to the guard pig. I think that this is a very good place to put it. And also it's RimWorld's much more like Minecraft in this instant. Pigfinite! Congratulations, you used to be rich. Necromantic bacon, yes. Oh, a caravan's arrived. Look at that. Mountain Home. They're here to trade. We should I sell them the... Necro Porker is my favorite comedy metal band, by the way. Sell them this year? Yes, the Etten's already dead. Ettens are weak. We're going to sell them the Secrets of Life and Death slab. I didn't even think about it until they arrived. I'm like, Also, flat.
Crypt Wave.
We're going to make some platinum rings. Neil, thank you very much for this 67th month. Cheers, dude. Jack, can I get a round of beers? For Neil. Keeping that sub alive for a long time. A long time. It's a long time. That's as long as I've had a sub button. 67 months. The streamer feels devastated at the passing of time, more like. All right, I'm your liaison from the Mountain Homes. Let's discuss your situation. There's much to share. We've added information to your civilization and world info. What requests do you have of our merchants? Oh, by the way, chat. So far, I've started getting comments on my VOD saying that you guys can stay. I don't know if you guys like being on my head, but you're like the crazy thought bubble above me. I ask for more iron bars. Why did I limit the size of my stockpile to that shape? Because I hadn't dug out the rest of the room yet and I haven't expanded it yet. Generally, when you ask me things like, why is your stockpile that shape and why is it that big? The response is usually going to be because I haven't made it bigger yet or because I like looking at it. They want cheese and handware for next year. All right. Also, this is a painfully tiny stockpile. Like painfully tiny. I do need to make it bigger. I just haven't. What should I sell them? I want handware next year, so we'll sell them handware next year. Sell them the the giant leopard leather high boots from the from the goblins. And sell them the damaged copper helm and those leggings. Those claystone bracelets. Whatever you feel like doing, Saigai. There's no wrong way to play the game. Both of those methods work perfectly fine. Like, honestly, both of those will work perfectly fine. And Dommy, thanks for continuing that sub you got from the elusive demon. I don't think I said a word in this chat yet, but has gifted like 150 subs, which is insane. Let's check how much coal I have. Oh, none. That's probably part of the reason. All right, you. Oh, not you. You. Oh, not you. You. No, nothing to make into lignite. Fine then. All right, cool then. Put that on repeat for a bit. I got plenty of wood, so. Let's see, how heavy is all of this? Not actually that heavy. Let's wait until the platinum rings get made a bit. Who refuses to wear dwarf-sized clothing and they only make goblin size? That seems like a bug. Did I send the slab? No, not yet. I do need to do that, though. Wow, it's got a value of 500. I feel like it should be higher. They also sent me Warhammer. Which I'm assuming was this one. And this one. For more months, but Twitch says you're not eligible for this purchase. Well, it says that it went through on my end. Because it says that you are continuing a sub. But I'll be honest with you, I've never used that feature of Twitch, so I'm not sure how that end of it works. Joe Diamonds, what kind of dwarf would you like? It's been sitting there for like 5 minutes. Nobody noticed. I'm impressed. The stream just randomly turned on captions. I've had captions on for like months. Yeah, I turned it on about 5 minutes ago, Spooky. Yeah, because I had it off manually. A mason with a beard. Well, masonry doesn't exist anymore. So I could give you... Okay, actually, that's not totally true. The job mason does. But it's stone cutting now. I could give you an engraver, but I don't actually have a mason with a beard. Is an engraver okay? It's like halfway a mason. I could give you this one. English, who's worshipping right now. Or I could give you this one who's slightly more happy. What's up, Satru? Can you have a fortress with no walls in the mountain and do bedrooms and offices without actually needing walls? I mean, the dwarves like their privacy, so it'll be slightly harder to keep them happy, but yeah, you could do it that way. Psycho, thanks for continuing that sub gifted to you via IR Stupid. What are you looking for, Craftsware 404? I mean, it's 404, so your name's not found. No bins and stockpiles? Yeah, because I don't need them. You can make bins. You don't need them. Most of my items are just sitting in the workshops, which is perfectly fine. Then on the YouTube videos, I mean, this text-to-speech is generated using Google Voice to Text. So literally all it is, it's a plugin for OBS that pings Google Voice to Text, and then it pings back. So I don't know how YouTube does it. I would assume it's the same, but... I need to check again. Engraver's fine? Okay, cool. Perfect. God bless chat logs. All right. Joe Diamonds. Eat Joe Diamonds. Joe Diamonds. You are... I'm kind of surprised you didn't want a gem cutter. But you disdain merriment, value peace, and you have a high kinesthetic sense. I'm going to pause the game so that we don't, like, fail to trade. You want excitement and you want to fight. You want to be extravagant, be with family, be with friends, and you want martial training. Accepts favors without developing a sense of obligation, preferring to keep as the current situation demands. Tends to avoid crowds, and he is quite comfortable with others that have a different appearance or culture. He doesn't focus on material goods, and he doesn't mind a little tumult and discord in day-to-day living. He tends to form only tenuous emotional bonds with others, and he has a great, where was that? He tends to not form emotional bonds with others, and he has that have a different appearance or culture. All right. He doesn't focus on material goods, and he doesn't mind a little tumult and discord in day-to-day living. It really is ages, isn't? Thank you very much for the 18 months. He tends to form only tenuous emotional bonds with others, and he has a sense of duty, and he is brave in the face of imminent danger, and he has a calm demeanor, and he needs alcohol to get through the working day. He personally is disgusted by merrymakers, values peace over war, and sees introspection as important, and dreams of creating a great work of art. He likes tin, clear garnet, quivers, and large gems, and cows for their hunting moves, and blind cave bears for their drooping ears, and lettuces for their taste, and the sound of the meadow of summer, and the sight of the clear heather, and when possible prefers to consume giant lizard and salmon and passion fruit wine, and rye flour, and absolutely hates lizards. Welcome to the fort. Something, just remove barrels from your seed stockpile. Just do it. And you can do that by clicking on the stockpile, clicking on this, and then hitting the barrels button and removing them. So 70% of the words are good, but on YouTube it's like maybe 20%. I think it's because of the background music on YouTube. Because this is only listening to my microphone. It's not listening to the background music. It's only listening to my microphone. Also, the music's not that loud.
The passage of time is terrifying.
Also, like, you know, text-to-speech and stuff like that as well. Probably ain't helping. And I've got like 1 or 2 dwarves slowly cutting that down. Also, a Zytrack, or Zeratrack? Or Exatrack? Assuming it's Zyatac. Thank you very much for that Prime sub. Cheers. And let's bring some more rings. Was it rings or bracelets that I queued up? Oh, a bunch of rings sitting right there, excuse me. Oh, there. 650. Oh my god, those are so valuable. I love it. I love it. All right, we don't even need to bring all those. Seemed only right to support the content you were enjoying. I'd say that the content is already supported, but more support is nice. Like, I'm certainly not going to say no. Okay, so we got 9,000 in value. I'm going to grab all the bars that they have sitting there. Buy those ropes, because ropes are annoying to make. They have a mule. Buy the barrels. They've got ale. Spider venom! We don't need that. Alpaca's milk, we'll take that. Donkey's milk, we'll take that. And donkey's milk, excellent. I'll take the pick. It's a fancy-ass axe. Buy those iron boots. Buy all of these bags, because once again, I'm too lazy to make them. Can I buy all the bins? No, I can't. Not all of the bins. Brought some anvils, which I'll take. Brought some meat. They brought some of that. Take the plump helmets, too. Leaves. Take the berry. They brought blueberries? Ooh. I'll take all the thread. It's like buying cloth, but it's cheaper. So, fun fact, there's actually a button on stockpiles. So, because I gave them a bunch of artifacts, which I just got off of that Etten, they say, the embraceal, the mortality of kin is a great treasure. We respect that. This is no mere trade. They also say the same thing about the Ultra Masons. It's like Dwarven's Ultramarines. Also, I need to name a fort Ultramasons at some point. Noted. Ultramasons, the solidarity of whips is a great treasure, and we respect that this is no mere trade. And the brilliances of blocking is a great treasure, and blah, 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 no mere trade. Well, that's good. So this button, if you want to trade with elves, this button right here, tag it. Now it's a elf safe stockpile. This toggle, whether the stockpile allows plant and animal based objects regardless of other settings. So if you just make an everything stockpile and only toggle on that, mansions, Ultra Mansions is just as good. To me, it read as Masons, and in my headcanon, it says Masons. I don't care if it's wrong. But anyway, yeah. So you click that button. And then it'll make safe stockpiles, and you can go via distance. You can figure out what you can sell to elves pretty easily that way. Basically, yes. I mean, we just sold them the secrets of life and death. So, good luck. Bring necromancers next time. All right, so let's go back to making, bedrooms first. We got to queue up bedrooms in this layer. Does that have any real implications, or does that get sucked into the void? No, it will go to the mountain home. I mean, like, if you go visit your mountain home in adventure mode after you've been trading with them for a bunch, like, you'll see random crap just scattered everywhere that you made. But sort of. I mean, like, the game keeps track of it, but when it leaves the map practically while in fortress mode, it just gets sucked into the void. But when you leave and reclaim, it gets processed into the world. There's a lot of things that don't happen while you're just playing fortress mode that then happen when you make a new fort. That's one of those things. Like, the actual better way to do this is not by doing it this way. I think the actual better way to do this is going up and around this. So does it mean anything for me right now? Not really. But when we make a new fortress, and assuming I can, I would like to, in this world, it'll be processed into the world. What do you mean, so it scatters, not so much Fox Benji? Yeah, that's something I miss. I'm actually not a big fan of how deconstruction works. Mind, thanks for the 39th month. You guys get... So, like, here's a big difference that I'm noticing before and after, like, this channel got a lot bigger because of this release. Back in the day, you know, you'd resub for 39 months on this channel and be like, man, I'm such a new person here, like, compared to everybody who's, like, got these 60 and 70 and, like, 80 months. Because, like, the number of resubs I would get in a day was so minuscule, right? It would be like, I'd maybe get 5, 6 subs in a day, and half of them would be for, like, 40-something months. And then it's just like, man, I feel like such a noob here. And now it's like, yeah, so I've been subbed to blind for, like, 45 months. What up, newbies? When in reality, it's like, in comparison to my old sub base, it's like, well, I see you're still new here. Call back in a year. But like next month is going to be kind of funny when a lot of people are resubbing for the first time. It's like, okay, 2 months, cool. Man, it's going to take a while for my brain to process this still. Like, this is something I would normally automate, probably. I would, like, record a macro for one layer after forbidding everything but claystone. But because, like, this menu doesn't have keyboard functionality, I can't even do that.
Noobs still matter, laughing face.
Noobs still matter? Do they? Oh. I mean, yes, of course noobs matter. Raz with the 33 months. OG subs old enough to be starting grade school? Yeah, actually. I think. I mean, I don't even know how many. 67 is what, like. How many years is that? I need to go look up the math, but that's like 4 or 5 years? Not quite grade school. Preschool for sure, though. 5.5? Yeah, that's like preschool. It's not quite grade school. Grade school's like a little bit later. Appreciate the YouTube tutorials. No problem, dude. I will keep them coming, but there's going to be a bit of a break because, frankly, I need to chill out for a bit. I basically did like 60-hour, well, not even 60 hours. I did like 16-hour days for the majority of December, and I need to not keep doing that. Because if I keep doing that, I'm going to keel over at a point, and unlike some other seemingly immortal people, I am very much mortal and very much not capable of making that amount of content consistently every month forever. So I need to slow down. So there's going to be a bit of a slowdown over the next week or two. 60-hour days felt like it, man. 16-hour days, basically all of December. In some cases more. Gruesome Nate, thank you very much for that Prime sub. You're unsubbing if I keel over? I'm taking a break. Taking Friday off completely. I'm gonna go see my grandmother in the morning, and then go hang out with another YouTuber friend. We're gonna go drink whiskey. I'll post pictures for proof. And then I'm taking Saturday and Sunday off, or not Saturday, Sunday and Monday off, because Saturday's New Year's. We'll be streaming on New Year's. Always stream on New Year's. If I keel over on Scream, you'll subscribe. Pay up or no balls. All right, so some migrants have arrived. Hey, father, I can't get out. Dr. Shark, thanks for the prime. Cheers. Actually kind of hurt my hip. God damn. What the fuck? All right. Around the edge here. The end is beer, this is true. Thanks, Spooky, for checking out a gift. I'm out of doors. Am I still making doors? No, not really. Cold-blooded, thanks for checking out a gift. But no, I've already pulled back. I'm only doing about 10-hour days now. Scam train go again. McDoom, thanks to Prime. You've been around this stream for a while too. On and off over the years. These all just need doors now. Chewing hundreds of pages of documentation and running DF on your other monitor? Damn right, just turn your frame rate down and you'll be able to keep up no problem. Fever of 38.5. Jeez, dude. Feel better. That's rough. A little hazy on the memory, but you seem to remember that I used to do sit-ups. I used to do push-ups for subs and sit-ups for bits. Yes. That was pre-diabetes. Post-diabetes, I can't do that. Yeah, I saw a bunch of people I know were suddenly streaming Tarkov. I was like, I guess people are, I guess Tarkov wiped again. Yeah, no, the thing about the diabetes is now I have to, like, actually plan when I do my workouts, so I can't just, like, spontaneously start doing push-ups anymore, which is kind of a shame. Because, like, actually very much helped me work out more consistently, but... Ah, well. It was a long time ago. Yeah, I figured it. It's like, Tarkov must have wiped because a bunch of people I know who play Tarkov are suddenly playing Tarkov. Kind of sucks for them. I hope that they're okay, but, you know, it just because, like, other people think it's fun to abuse themselves for their own entertainment doesn't mean it's good. So I send them my condolences, and I hope that it's over quickly. I do the exact same whenever World of Warcraft updates, so. I mean, Ryan, you've probably dumped Dwarf Fort for like the next 2 months, right? Servers are melting. Just keep playing Dwarf Fort for another week and then play Tarkov. Be fine. Second right. Second one from on the right, you missed a chest. I did, right. You'll be behind? Like I said, if a video game requires other human beings to be fun, it's significantly less fun by default because you are forced to play it at a specific time and not when you feel like playing it. That is like the worst thing ever, and I don't understand why people play games like that. Kind of genuinely, like I don't understand it. You have 117 hours on it already? You know, there's people that have passed me, and I got the game 4 days early. Which is like I start to feel like you like just never turn your game off. All right, so one dwarf just became super depressed. Ooh, numbers are spiking up. Are you really just like a pissed off child? Horrified after seeing a goblin's dead body. Oh, I see. You saw a goblin die. I get you. I should check my kitchens. Where's the kitchens? So those corpses haven't been tossed. Let me just... Also, chat room, thank you very much for the little hype train, by the way. And Raz, thanks for checking out another gift to Bork. Over here, we are going to place these glass windows. Party time, apparently. We got a lot of depressed dwarves. I need to deal with this. This is a bit of a problem, so party ends early. You played 170 hours since you bought Dwarf Fortress on the 11th. Damn! That's a good amount of time. Hopefully those were enjoyable hours. I really, really, really want Windrose to do a cover of this song. It's like they did a cover of Diggy Diggy Hole. How much do you think it would take to get them to do a cover of this song? I just want a metal version of this song so bad. 30 more bedrooms. Go. It's a good release. It's absolutely possible to create artificial waterfalls, yeah. Because water has physics and you can do whatever you want. You're going to miss out on the higher tier emotes for 3 months? I mean, theoretically, you could up the tier now, but you don't get a refund from Twitch. So keep that in mind. You just lost a fort to 3 fire imps, and your single stair pathfinding issues from resulting from the single stair and then the whirlies of the transforms inside the burrow. Yep. That'll do it. That'll in fact do it. All right, let's see what these pissy dwarves need. Of course, 2 of them are kids. I might actually just expel this dwarf. All right, so your kid is a problem. We're just gonna ask you to leave. There we go. That sorts that. Hey, actually that killed 2 because now we only have one like kind of angy person here. Okay, how about you? You're fixable. What do we need to do with you? A lot of these are just like so horrified after seeing dead bodies. Okay. We're not on an island. We're on a peninsula. I don't think it's a bug. I think it's the stress system working as intended. I think the issue is kids have chores now because people have been complaining for years that kids can't do chores. And now that kids can do chores, they do all of the shitty mundane tasks that don't really give you any positive thoughts, but piss dwarves off. And the issue with them doing all of those shitty mundane tasks that they don't like doing is, well, how do I word this? The issue with them doing all those shitty mundane tasks is it doesn't help their mental state at all. It actually hurts it. So the result is you have all these, like, upset, like, kind of pissy kids, which are kind of pissy anyway, now also being forced to haul dead bodies. So I don't know. It's not a bug. I think it's the stress system working as intended. I think They just don't have access to everything that they need. Also, I need to get this military stagger training. Cold-blooded, by the way, I'm adding you to the military. Although they're going to be stagger training, so. Although let's edit this. Equip always, so they will always have their gear equipped. They should. Guys, go get your gear. Doofuses. Nice again. Schedule. Schedule. Of course, they just dump all their gear on the ground. Okay, so they're going back and re-equipping. I mean, dwarves that go berserk generally aren't that hard to deal with anyway. It's usually just one dwarf going berserk. Was it 1 month? I thought that applies for all of the month's orders. Does it not? Oh, you're right. Interesting. I just learned something. You deleted one staggered training thing? It's not that hard to remake them. And unlike the uniforms, they still function. I think this whole central area is going to be sandstone flooring. Why did I do that? Need to stop doing that. Need to check whether or not it's build or not. Okay, they can deconstruct that. That's not really an issue, but... We're going to run out of sandstone bars, so I can't actually do that. You haven't really found any fuel. So if you chop down trees, you can make charcoal out of them at the wood burner shop, which is one of the quickest, easiest, most efficient ways of getting fuel fast. Let's just see. I don't generally assign these manually, but I'm going to assign these manually just because I want to see if I actually have enough dwarves. Bedrooms for right now. Or if I can start working on my next project. It's going to be drowning stuff. So your name's like Icenix, like Linux, but there's an ice at the beginning? Thanks for the 20 gift subs. Absolute mad lad. Cheers, dude. When does Dwarf Economy start? So there was an economy in Dwarf Fortress once, but it was removed from the video game because it was too accurate a simulation of libertarian post-capitalism, where what would end up happening was very quickly you'd end up with one extraordinarily wealthy dwarf that could never run out of wealth, and then a bunch of homeless dwarves that were pissed. So it was removed from the game because Tarn didn't feel like figuring out how to patch it. So now the dwarves are anarcho-communist, and there is no economy in the game, really. I mean, it's a barter system, so you can barter for items. But you can mint coins if you want, but there is no capitalist economy in Dwarf Fortress. There is some behind the scenes in World Gen for the other factions, but not for dwarves. And when you see dwarves like going to prison for embezzling funds, it's because like they stole a bunch of socks, which is kind of hilarious. Who'da thunk, Tropic? Who'da thunk? Minted coins are worth a couple hundred. They're worth making, minted coins. Oh yeah, also another thing about kids being super depressed is I find that they don't claim bedrooms at all, which is intended. I find that they get happier if you give them bedrooms. $4,000 sock a dwarf made? I'm sure Supreme's made a $4,000 sock in real life. I don't think it matters the type of coin. I think they're all just worth about 500. Silver coins to 300-ish? Oh, then it's been changed. Yeah, no, I mean they're worth making. They're like it's like making an expensive craft, basically. Also, just got confirmation on the Jupiter Hell dev talk that we're doing today. So today's going to be a bit of a variety day. We're going to be doing about an hour 20-ish of Dwarf Fort today. And then we're going to be swapping games over to Jupiter Hell. And we're going to be playing some, well, like I said, Jupiter Hell with a dev backseating me. Talking about his new content, doing some Q&A stuff. Because for those of you who are new to this channel, generally what I kind of describe myself as a broadcaster is I play games that I'm interested in. And Dwarf Fortress just happens to be a game I'm very interested in. But fortunately, it also means that you get some other weird shit from time to time. Some people are into that, some people ain't. So we'll definitely point you guys at a good Dwarf Fortress channel for those of you who ain't. But for those of you who do stick around, it means the world to me. I do really like the leaves, though. They look awesome when they shed their leaves. Look at that. Although it doesn't quite hold a candle to the ASCII. Look at that. Beautiful. Leaves falling. This is why people used to think of, like, why is there blood falling from the sky? Oh, it's just the leaves. Don't worry about it. Not blood. I assure you. It's just the leaves. Totally fine. You're not going to die. An alter ego as well with that tier 1. Cheers. Hasn't even popped up in chat yet. Usually it's leaves. Yes, sometimes it's not. Yep, also Jupiter Hell is 50% off right now, and I want to see how many copies we can sell during the Jupiter Hell segment. We might come back to Dwarf Fortress after. Depends on how long it goes. Not entirely sure what the plan after Epion's done being on stream today is. I might even just end early because you guys have been yelling at me to take a break. So. And then just go record a tutorial or something. Also, chat, we're only about 40, 30, actually 32 YouTube subscriptions away from 34,000. It's fun. But not today. No break today. Gotcha. Okay. So take a break, blind, but not today. And if you take a break tomorrow, I will complain. Is that how this works? On Games by Supergiant Games. Man, I talked about this very impassionately recently when I heard that they just announced another Hades. I love Supergiant Games. I played through all of Bastion when it a couple years after it came out with my now ex-girlfriend, and loved it at the time. It was a gorgeous game to play through. Super, super, super enjoyable. Somebody almost died. Hopefully nobody died. Super, super, super enjoyable. Loved it. Played through Pyre. Loved that too. Played through Transistor, which I always blank on the name of when people ask me about it. And I love that as well. And then they released Hades. So I'm legally blind and don't see well. Hades is basically unplayable. It's at a specific camera angle that's very hard for me to tell what is what and what is where. And they call it a roguelike, which bothers me because it's not, but it's a very, very, very well-made video game. And I can't play it. At all. We're going to build water cannons. They released Hades. Hades. Water cannons with spikes at the bottom. We're going to knock things onto spikes. So I really, really, really wanted to like Hades. But I couldn't. It's just, like, I like the music. I like the voice acting. I think the art's amazing. I think everything about Hades is gorgeous. But I can't play it because I don't see well enough. I, after much grinding, was able to beat, like, the first boss once and eventually gave up. And then I tried again when it came out of early access, and it wasn't much better. And they just announced a sequel, and I'm really sad. I can't play Binding of Isaac either. I don't like games that call themselves roguelikes that are modern games, because they're not roguelikes and they're not accessible at all. They're all bullet hell games. I can't play bullet hell games. If it's a bullet hell game, I can't play it. What are we working on today? We are beginning our defensive structure. I'm gonna be making water cannons. I've never tried playing Hollow Knight, but I don't like Metroidvanias, so I probably just wouldn't enjoy it. No, they're run-based games, Kravicus. We've been over this many times in the past. So yeah, it hurts. It hurts. It really, really hurts because I want to play that game because it's super cool looking, but I can't play it. So there's a bug right now where you can channel underneath trees. It shouldn't let you do that. What the fuck? Can I explain the concept of water cannons? Just like lava cannons. Easy peasy. Take minecart, push minecart through water trench. Minecart go wee! And then minecart hit wall and minecart go splat! And then water fly out. And I'm going to use it to knock them off of walkways and then down into a puddle. And I'm going to have it set to auto drains so we can drain the base of it. We're going to fill it from my moat. They're going to fall down into there, probably on spikes and into multiple Z levels of water, or we could just fill it instantly from the oceans. Might just fill it instantly from the oceans and just not worry about it. So this is going to be dug down probably to about here, I would guess. Yeah, probably to about here so I can fill it real quickly from the oceans. Minecart go wee. Yeah. It's like the little piggy go wee, 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 all the way home. Except it's minecart go wee, 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 all the way home. If you watch my minecart cannons video, it's the exact same concept, but filling them up with water. Yeah, it's like minecart go wee, just like an A10 go brrr. Can you make a metro in this game? I don't know if dwarves will intentionally use minecarts as transportation. Like, I don't think they really consider it as part of their pathing, but I've never tried, so. But theoretically, sure. Okay, this is a problem, I think. Maybe not a problem. Okay. I keep seeing what I think are trees, and it's like, if these trees grow while I'm digging, like, this is a problem, because there's just going to be random trees collapsing. Well, no, you can make dwarves ride them. And you can power them with rollers and water power. Everyone is so happy. Oh, yeah, it certainly does. I should build one in this fort because it would be really easy. I just haven't done it yet. Can you engrave boulders without digging a channel? Wait, when you say boulders, do you mean like these? I'm pretty sure you can just smooth these. Yeah, you can just smooth these. I'm talking about these surface boulders, you can just smooth them. Smooth them and then engrave them. Every fort is a walkable neighborhood. Yeah, exactly. Not just bikes. Very much appreciates the walkability of dwarven forts. Until you're handed a boulder and told to walk from the bottom of the map to the top of the map. Holy shit, they can mine from the edge of ramps? Mind blown. I had no idea. Why would you, what have you got against bees? I guess is my question. What do I use as food and farm? Well, for 93 dwarves, I may need to expand these. These are my 4 farms. I got plump helmets alternating with sweet pods and other things, and pigtails. Speaking of pigtails, I'm gonna process some of these, assuming there's some available, which there isn't apparently. Oh, they were stinging your dwarves. Okay. That is a really good way to train doctors, though. If they keep stinging your dwarves. Chat, I need to go use the restroom. I will be back momentarily. It's okay, Can. You see, I won't keep looking. All right. Let's go through here. Pop that up. Now we gotta go across this way. Although the wiki is actually getting updated now. The merge is done. What kind of dwarf would you like, Tropic? I just killed a dwarf. Salty Tempest. I thought we'd already cleared out that tree, but clearly we didn't. Well. Did I make coffins? Can't remember. I did. It's kind of salted. Yep. Yep. No, a tree collapsed. It's truly sad. I like the sad music that plays. Chat F's for Salty Tempest. Wait, no, that's a bedroom. Wrong button. Need a tomb. Someone had to be the first. Actually, that is the first death in this fort, yeah. On year 4, that's pretty good. Of course, more trees are just popping up. I love that the trees are actually growing faster than I can chop them down right now. For silly allied invaders, by building an arena and catching them in traps. And then what I would recommend is building, how do I word this? Like kind of a circular thing. Just don't, and then constructing the cages on either side and then connecting a lever to all of the cages and then pulling the lever. The thing that I would not recommend doing is set it up so that your dwarves can watch, because all you'll really do is end up with a lot of angry faces. The dwarves really do not like watching other creatures kill each other. They really, really don't. Your military may not mind so much. Oh, Dwarf Fortress is extraordinarily easy type hack. Or type tack. Dwarf Fortress is extraordinarily easy. But that's not the point of Dwarf Fortress. I played No Moria when it was still in development, but when they abandoned it, I stopped. And I've never gone back. I haven't really messed with any mods, to be honest with you, because I think modding Dwarf Fortress when it's still in an active update cycle is really, really silly. Dwarf Fortress is still in an active update cycle, and until they are done with the current update cycle and the major bugs are removed, I'm not going to mod the game at all. Once they're done with this update cycle, I'll start moving into QQL mods and other things, messing with stuff, adding more races and such. I've played this game for too long and I know how it works to the point where I'm not going to mod it at all until we're out of this update cycle. High-skilled crafts dwarf, don't mind beard or not, please. Okay. I'm gonna use legendary. This one's flickering. Let's see. Legendary Stonecrafter, do that work? Although when it comes to games that are like Dwarf Fortress, the only one the two that I play actively right now on and off are Odd Realm, which is currently on sale as well. Odd Realm. And Songs of Six, which is not on sale. I don't think Songs of Six has ever been on sale, though. I mean, even the only reason you need mods, Cancel, is if you want more variety or a specific theme for a run. That's the only real reason to install mods. Like, I like overhaul mods a whole lot for Dwarf Fort. Oh shit, did I not read that Discord word story? I'm gonna refund that one because there really isn't much for me to read anyway. It would be like just a handful of things. Sorry about that, Cold Blood. Like, to give you an idea, like, the mods I like for Dwarf Fortress are overhaul mods. Mods that are like, yo, so we're gonna retheme the entire game. Crisis remastered, Renfield. Believe it or not. And I played the first 40 minutes of High on Life, which was interesting, and I'd like to play more of it. But yeah, no, if you want, like, the mods I like for Dwarf Fortress are the full overhaul mods, like the finished version of the Pokemon mod, not the one that's currently in the game. The Monster Hunter overhaul mod, the Skyrim overhaul mod, the Star Wars overhaul mod, the Rise of the Mushroom Kingdom, Super Mario Brothers overhaul mod, theoretically the My Little Pony mod, but I'm not a brony and I don't give a shit about My Little Pony, so I never played that one. Things like The Long Night. I like mods that are total overhauls that completely retheme the entire game. Mods that just add stuff, meh. And also, like, as far as like QQL UI mods go, I cover this game in a content fashion. And I teach people this game, so it would be really silly of me to be like, well, I've generated this world that has all of these mods installed, and somebody asks me how to do a thing, and then I click through it, and I can't actually show them how to do the thing because I have to show them how the mod works. The game hasn't been out long enough with this variant of the UI for it to be necessary, in my opinion. And I think like the whole idea of like, oh, a game needs mods to be enjoyable is goofy. So I will probably add a few mods in once the game is in a stable state, and it's going to be that way for a while. So once we get through this current patch cycle, and Tarn says, "All right, we're all systems go working on the next major patch." When Tarn says that, okay, at that point, I will be like, "Let's start installing mods." Songs of Six is awesome, but it's nothing like Dwarf Fortress. Songs of Six is like Pharaoh on steroids with a opamine addiction. Opium addiction, not opamine. Opium addiction, because you can grow opium in that game. All right, personality. We'll stream that game as well at some point, too. I will never install that mod BWS. I think it's kind of gross. He has little time for forgiveness and will generally seek retribution. He is somewhat scatterbrained and he has a very calm demeanor. And he lives an orderly life, organized and neat. And he has an overbearing personality and can easily fall in love or develop positive feelings. He is a friendly individual and he needs alcohol to get through the working day. And he does not mind being outdoors at least for a time and doesn't really care about anything anymore. He personally believes that war is preferable to peace in general. And sees competition as reasonably important and sees no value in holding back complaints and concealing emotions. Does not particularly value loyalty and does not care about family one way or another. And dreams of crafting a masterwork someday. And this dream was realized. Dastot likes Pericles, silver, pink tourmaline, kapok wood, crystal glass, jabberer leather, and the color black, and bark scorpion men for their pinchers. And he's like Edward Scissorhands, and when possible, prefers to consume squid and sunshine, and absolutely hates toads. Ooh, sunshine, that's fancy taste. You're married to Olan, and you worship the god Reason, and you're part of the Craftsdwarfs Guild. I mean, I played large chunks of the time I played in RimWorld, mostly vanilla, but I did install mods as time went on. Just took a very long time for me to really start. Oh, I started making coffin areas up here. Interesting. We can make some more tombs. Get ahead of the game here. It's not elf only. Dwarves can brew it. It's just sunberries, which is needed to brew sunshine, is only available in good biomes. So usually it's easiest to get it from elves. But no, dwarves can brew it. I've built entire fortresses off of the back of nothing but brewing and selling sunshine because it's so valuable. Because RimWorld's a poorly designed game. What? I mean, sorry. Because RimWorld it doesn't have enough content. There we go. All right. So now that we've done that, there's wood in my thing. That's sad. Okay, that's getting cut out. Can you grow the fruit? It's a surface fruit, or it's a surface plant, but if you're in a good biome, yes. You just have to be in a good biome. It only grows in good biomes. Rise to Ruins is weird. I never got very deep into it. I think the dev follows me on Twitter. Rise to Ruins. Let's do all of that. Then we're going to keep digging down. Tried an embark that was only in a neutral biome, and he planted one of them aside and they grew. Oh, interesting. At least previously, well, okay. They only grow naturally in good biomes. I don't think I've ever actually had them outside of good biomes, so. You know, previously you could always get like embark splits. You could very easily have like multi-biome embarks. This version of the game seems to have trouble with that for some reason. McDoodle. Afternoon. Hello. Haven't seen a single undead anything, actually. This has been a very dull ocean. Speaking of split biomes. Rock and stone! How's things? Cooler. How goes the 10,000 hours in Warframe? Now that you've finally peaked. Did you have no, there's literally nothing. It's a haunted ocean that makes spooky noises sometimes. So, fortunately, I have this area down here. Let's be careful to not dig into it. But unfortunately, we have this area down here. The reason it's fortunate that we have this area down here, though, is it'll be very easy to build a drain for this. It's only 2,000 hours? No, for Cooler. Cooler, my artist, has 10,000 hours. Also, hey, Epyon. We on in an hour. What is it I'm digging and building? I'm going to build towers and water cannons. And actually do it this time. Except we're doing it above ground, which is going to be a pain in the dick. But it's fine. Am I building a lighthouse? I could build a lighthouse, but no, we're building water cannons. So we're going to need to pump water. I mean, what is this layer? -1? Probably up to... about there? Gonna be pretty fun towers. Fun. Why do these trees keep growing? Stop it. God damn it. If you added Redeemer to... I think there's a gun called Redeemer in Jupiter L. That sounds familiar. Well, so Unreal Tournament, well, multiple Unreal Tournament games were made by the same people who, you know, made Warframe. So, same people. Build that floor all with wood? I mean, it's just going to be stone. We're digging down to stone layers. And it's probably going to be built out of limestone, actually. Just in case I decide to add lava to this in the future. I don't know how long I'll be in this fort, though. If this ends up being a super long-term fort, then maybe. You finished the holiday assignments? Well, that's good. I love that you can just see those logs moving over there, but you can't actually see where the waves are. Such a shame. Assuming I don't build it out of wood, theoretically they could. But I don't think I have any lava-safe minecart materials in this map right now. What, the ones on the beach? That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the actual logs. These ones. See how they're moving? It's because of this. That's the distance the wave is actually reaching. Pushing those logs back and forth. Are there sea monsters? Yes. I hesitate to say yes. I mean, like, there's like giant whales and fucking various other creepy critters like that. I guess it depends on your definition of sea monster. This fort does. It depends on if the game gets crashy. Or if things break again. Or if I have that general strike bug again. But yeah, I would say that this fort has a lot of potential. Oh, those? Yeah, well, they're not locked to water. They're only locked to water when the waves hit them. But if you set them to dump, they generally just go get them and move them. Question, your civilization still exists, but you haven't received trade caravans and outpost liaisons from them for years. Any idea why? Did you piss them off for some reason? I mean, the thing is, like, there could be a billion things causing them to not trade with you. Sea serpents and such? Not really. Dwarf Fortress is kind of limited to, like, giant crabs. The ocean is one of those things in Dwarf Fort that's very underdeveloped. Like, there's like, coral exists as a material dwarves can like and beasts can be made out of, but corals don't exist in Dwarf Fortress. It's one of those very underdeveloped things in Dwarf Fort that, like, could be a lot better, and I hope one day gets a lot better. Well, there are giant squids. So technically there is krakens. At least I would consider a giant squid a kraken, but I mean... There are sea serpent monsters, but they only show up in evil biomes and they're pretty rare. Yeah, but those are giant, like, other thing variants, aren't they? Unless you're talking about, like, the actual, like, straight up... I think I know what you're talking about, but I don't really consider those sea monsters, not in the way that they're talking about them. My jokes are cracking you up. Oh, boy. One day he'll tackle boats. Go to my YouTube channel, Cancel, and find the video called Why Boats Are a Pain in the Ass. I have a video called Why Boats Are a Pain in the Ass. And believe it or not, it's about why boats are a pain in the ass. I'm building a platform for water cannons, which might get converted to lava cannons at some point. Depends on how long I stay in this fort. Oh yeah, no, the sea life is rather underwhelming, alter ego. Thanks for the prime sub. Trenny JR. There you go. Sea serpents? See. Well, I just learned something's in Dwarf Fortress. Gigantic sea monsters, savage predators. 9 million centimeters cubed. Huh. Never heard of those before. I believe it. But no, water cannons won't be done today. Maybe tomorrow. Tomorrow's gonna be a long stream. There's various different, like, ocean people. There's mer people. There's crab people. I think that's it. I think it's mer people and crab people. There's also cave fish people, but those don't really count. Were sharks? The elusive land shark. Or if you just turn up, like, the strength cap on a lot of sea creatures, then the sea creatures just climb up onto the surface and kill you. I've had maps with giant crabs, and I had a haunted map once with undead giant crabs. Those were kind of terrifying. How can I tell if your soldier in training does not pack food in their backpacks so it won't rot? Don't let them have backpacks. Make sure there's no backpacks in your fortress, and then they just won't carry them. Or, alternatively, remove backpack... Got a dwarf that claimed a glass furnace. Hold on. Or alternatively, remove backpacks from their uniform. Sandstone blocks and tetrahedrite. I did not hear this go off. Okay, what do you want? Bricks. Probably bones, I would guess. Cloth thread. Okay, we should have cloth thread. Leather skin. That or it is cloth that you want. Rough gems. We need rough gems. Raw green. Okay, let's I mean, guarantee. For some reason, I found so few gems in this map. Okay, there is a rough yellow jasper right there. They do have rough gems, so what else do you need? Other skin. Assuming it's thread then. So what I'm gonna do. We really. Borky, thanks to the Prime sub. Do I really have nothing that can be made into cloth up here? It's a little bit distressing. Okay, well, I guess we're spinning some thread then. It wasn't too specific, so. Fortunately, I have a few sheep. No, I got backup options. Dumrick. Why would you need so many? Have you ever used anything below 20 elevation? Anything below 20 elevation. Okay, first off, you don't know how many hours I have in this game. Second off, I don't understand your question. But, you know. I'm going to tell you how to generate a world where there's a lot of haunted and terrifying biomes. If you go into world generation and you turn up natural savagery and evilness, make sure that there's lots of necromancers. But I'm not really an advanced world gen fanatic, so it's hard for me to say exactly. Oh, I've got plenty of leather. Plenty of leather. Thread is the only thing I don't have. But if this doesn't work, then we'll check it. Let's see, did you claim it? Should be you. Although I may need to disable spinning thread briefly. Nope, not that. All right, what else do you need? We should have plenty. I thought that we had tons of leather, but let me double check. No, they can't. Super Joshy. I do have plenty of pig and cat leather. So I feel like that shouldn't be an issue. I think you're not wrong in regards to cloth. We're out of pigtail seeds? Am I out of pigtails? No, they would say that they wanted it dyed. Yeah, and it's something that they want to do eventually, but it's like there's a lot of things that I'm very careful about with cancel, and one of those things is I don't go blurting, oh, this is a thing that's coming to the game eventually, because while it might, it may also be like a decade off because of the long-term development of this game. So it's like, would that thing be cool? Yeah, probably. Am I excited about it? No, because it's not going to be out for a long time. Okay, so I just straight up don't have any. Great. I guess that dwarf's just dead then, because I ain't digging down to the caverns for one dwarf. Sorry. Bogrin is correct here. But no, they want cloth thread. They want thread. And I think they want plant cloth thread, and I'm not seeing any. So, and I could do another look, but I'm not seeing any rope reed or anything. Plenty of rhubarb. Extra stills are OP. Everything in this game is OP. It's because it's a storyteller. It's not a challenge-based game. You have to limit your own production to make things a challenge. If you actually care about that, which I don't really. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not seeing any. Mitigate future carnage? No. That's all I have to say is no. You do it by making all your forages on the bottom Z level? Gotcha. Currently, my priorities do not include going down to the caverns. So I'm not going down to the caverns. If that dwarf decides they want something that we don't have, all right, we'll trade for it next trading cycle and then not cause a problem with it. This game's an absolute gem. You're happy with it and you're looking forward to future things, mostly adventure mode. That's the thing that's worth looking forward to, because adventure mode is not as far off as something like boats. I haven't tried. I don't know if item duping still works, but I assume it would. We've never been so happy with a game. It's a work of art, literally. Yeah, it's real nice. It's real nice to have a Vile Force of Darkness. A Vile Force of Darkness has arrived somewhere on the map. Where exactly? Yep. These little fuckers. Alrighty, squads. Go kick their ass! Get them! These initial sieges are so weak now. Instead of just like, oh hey, it's a Vile Force of Darkness. Here's 250 goblins. Now it's like, oh, here's 12. Can't you see we're working on a construction project? I don't have time to kill you right now. Whoop, pause. Okay, let's try this again. Let's get the rest of them into this square. But that's high praise if you've actually never been so happy with a game. That really, really is high praise. Yeah, it is also just really cool in general to see other people suddenly discovering Dwarf Fort for the first time. In a 10-year-old fort. Turn the game up to hard. Oh, I think they just got spooked off the map. Yeah, turn the difficulty up to hard. Fun fact, they actually were supposed to be this difficult supposedly. But there was a bug. And the bug being fixed made them easier, which I think is really funny. Wow, that's close. I'm gonna make a temporary wooden bridge here to use as scaffolding. Oh yeah, no, totally. It's like a lot of people say it's Civilization, but they just clearly haven't tried Dwarf Fortress yet. It's like if you were to only have one game for a desert island, it's like, yeah, it would be Dwarf Fortress. The important question though is what version of Dwarf Fortress would you take though, Scootser? Because honestly, if I could only play one game on a desert island right now, it would probably be, and it would never get updates presumably, it would probably be version 47.0.5 if I were to be on a desert forever. You have loved watching Dwarf Fortress, but you went with DF with Aurora 4X instead of Dwarf Fortress, and now you feel like you can give DF another shot, and it's only $30. Oh, like you played Aurora 4X instead of playing, like you learned that one instead? Oh, did they actually fight? Shit, I totally missed it. Okay, we did kill some of them. Dang, that got built quick. All right, well, we got that bridge done. I can build all the way across here. Bridges are... Oh, no, never mind. I built that one further back. I was confused for a second. No, Dwarf Fortress is not hard at all. All of the, like, old myths about how hard Dwarf Fortress is to learn is almost entirely based on the fact that it was ASCII. Put DF on the back burner? Yeah, that's fair. I mean, you've been around the stream for a bit, I think. Definitely seen your name before, so... Yeah, since, like, 21. But Aurora 4X is a nightmare all on its own, you know? It's its own unique kind of... difficult as fuck to get in game to get into. ASCII plus the obtuse menu system that wasn't really obtuse to anyone used to navigating menus like that. Yeah, it's like if you were used to playing ASCII games or used to playing games with obtuse menus, it really wasn't bad. I just don't want them climbing out, so I guess we'll do that. Can't be hard if there's no win condition. You're not wrong. XKCD. What, did you find Dwarf Fortress through XKCD? Really? Did I not dig through an aquifer? Is there not an aquifer right there? Oh, pff, no, it's not an aquifer. It's my own river. I'm smart. How many forts have I made in total? Dude, I've got like 6,000 hours streamed of this game. And I didn't start streaming it until late 2018. I started playing this game on and off in 09. I have no fucking idea how many forts I've made in total. At least 2 this week. Bronze Colossus. What the fuck, game? Give me a break. God damn it. Christ almighty. Why? Okay, fine. Fine then. Fuck you too. The Bronze Colossus, Othat, Durtranum has come, a gigantic magic statue made of bronze. It is bent on mayhem. Well, it's bent, that's for sure. I literally just dug a direct route into my fort. Okay, fine. Fuck you, game. Son of a bitch. God, Can you kill a bronze colossus with silver warhammers? I don't think you can. Like, I don't think I can kill it. Like, being honest with you, I'm pretty sure I can't kill it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do this. This. Like, I'm like 98% certain I can't kill it. I think it would make a great fort mascot, though. Yes, it is indeed time for It's absolutely what it is time for. This bronze colossus is pissed that we sold the secrets of life and death to the dwarves. All right. Okay, we can also go up here. You just had to pick like the worst possible time. Also, hi Shirley, what's up? Saw your name fly by. Can damage bronze colossus. All right, but okay, chat. What should we do? Should we try and kill the bronze colossus, or should I capture it and use it as a fortress mascot? I think capturing it and using it as a mascot would be much cooler, personally. I don't see these very often. Gotta give the piggy its own zone. All right, so, where is it? All right, so, hallelujah. Assign everybody to the burrow and rename the burrow. Okay, there we go, perfect. And it's unpaused, so the dwarves should all go inside. Where the fuck's it going? Put it in the pit for knocking enemies around? Yeah, we could do that. So let's just hope all the dwarves are out of here. Use sandstone. Probably in one of these workshops right here. Let's keep following it. It doesn't feel anything while getting rained on, chat. Oh yeah, do you remember how I said that things can climb trees? And you should be careful about your walls? Yeah, that. Checking. Should be good. A lot of socks in my tavern. Hope that this got hooked up. Looks like it did. Okay, sweet. Also, an ad is starting soon, so I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to wait. Imagine you not getting lifelong PTSD from getting rained on. We've been over this many times, but like if you were stuck outside for weeks on end, being forced to work in construction in the rain, and sleeping outside in the rain, you would be upset too. It's the Bronze Colossus and it brought advertising. This is true. It might feel a bit rusty. Does bronze rust? I don't know enough about metal. I'm assuming it does. Does the Colossus have family? Smooth sailing. Well, it's all smooth sailing from here, Chad. Thank you very much for that tier 1. Cheers. No relations. No relationships either. I got a minute to wait before the ads are done. Description? A gigantic magic statue made of bronze and bent on mayhem. Only surface rust? Oh, really? Okay, so it's more rain resistant than iron. Gotcha. Okay, so it won't just like fall brittle and whatnot. Kill it and melt it down for mechanisms? No, I'm gonna catch this thing and we're gonna use it somewhere. I don't know where. I think I've seen that XKCD before. Ah, yes. You know, honestly, that particular strip, I think is to blame for so many people not getting into Dwarf Fort. I think it's a bit of a shame. All right, chat, are we through ads? I mean, right now it'll make a nice cage picture. What we're gonna do, I'm gonna dig down to here. And I will add this area to the burrow. Actually, you know what? If I go that far, it's gonna straight up just like dump water in here, so that's maybe a bad idea. Could go up to here. Yeah, so that's what we'll do. We'll just dig it out to there. Accept. And then I think I need to make a wooden cage trap. Excuse me. Work orders. Wooden cage. Thumbs up indeed, dude. Found a... Oh, hey, that dwarf finally went nuts. Well, that's unfortunate. I don't know where they went, but... Oh, did they kill him already? Maybe not. Where's this berserk crafts dwarf? Stodir is your name. May already be dead. I think already is dead. Oh, wait, no, actually. Yeah, I see your other screen, obviously. What a shame. What a shame. All right, well, we should go make a hospital. Gotta do everything right now. Traps. Cage trap. Boom. 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 Let's go up to here and make a hospital real quick. I won't forget that I'm literally making traction benches right now. Building them is easy. It's remembering to place them that's difficult for me, apparently. Let's just make sure I have tables. I have 8, so I can place 1 table and 1 traction bench. We can also put a chest in here. Kwaku, give me a second. I will get your dwarf named, though. What kind of dwarf do you want? Just let me know, and I'll look it up. I love it whenever it goes off. There's always somebody that's immediately like, curse you to step on Lego bricks, like seconds after. It's like one person gets it, yay! Everybody else, fa. Meeting zone. Accept. Hospital. Chief medical dwarf. Eye master diagnoser for Big Spurn. I'm just gonna make you into the diagnoser. Let's throw you in there. You in there. Although I did replace the diagnoser to somewhere else. Okay, cool. So all 4 jobs are assigned. You still berserk? You really not dead yet? Oh, that's a shame. In a berserk rage. Well, I'm assuming sending the military in won't kill him. Kind of hoping he'll bleed out, but he might not be. He's just seriously injured. You also need to assign, and they do every medical task. Since you're assigning, you'd like the chief medical dwarf? All right, can do. Find you. Stool ball. There you are. Stool ball. Kodaku. Your chief medical dwarf. Let's see, personality-wise, she rarely feels happy or enthusiastic, and she is a pessimist, and she's conflicted by this, as she values parties and merrymaking in the abstract. She is moved by art and natural beauty, and she is troubled by this, and she dislikes the natural world. She likes to brawl, and she could be considered rude. She's curious and eager to learn, and she can handle stress. She has an active sense of humor, and she needs alcohol to get through the working day. She dreams of mastering a skill and personally sees those that attempt to maintain dignified and proper behavior as vain and offensive, and values good craftsdwarfship. And likes nickel, silver, and moonstone, and 2-legged rhino, lizard bone, short swords and shields, and water buffaloes for their wallowing. And the sight of the mellow intricacy, and when possible prefers to consume bumblebee mead and dwarven syrup, and hates purring maggots. All right, so now that we got all that done, I can get this built. Probably, yep. See? Remember the traction benches, chat. I remembered the traction benches. We're also going to go down here and we're going to go to orderlies and say everybody does this. Cool. Let's just make sure that there's somebody doing medical-esque tasks. Doesn't really look like it. Let's see. How about now? Three crutches and 3 splints. Currently no soap. 25 minutes until we do some Jupiter Helvad tech. Also, hi, Vad Tech. What's up? All right, I don't trust this orderly's task, I'll be honest. I'm just going to go make a doctoring work detail. And just call it Why is it surrounded by water? Because I put the water there? Let's give it to other useless characters that need something better to do with their lives, like Fisher Dwarves. Let's see, are people actually going to go do doctoring stuff now? We're building above ground and we're rebuilding a faction, Red Eye. Is it possible to get fresh water without a well and without an aquifer? If there's no water on your map, you got to go down to cavern layers. Otherwise, you're kind of fucked. Sweet, we got wound dressings going out, which is what we like to see. We're going to make wooden splint, 10. Wooden crutch, cube 10. Sweet, we're seeing these jobs get done. Is that dwarf still berserk off in the corner? For fuck's sake. Let's see if that will still cause mass cataclysms of dwarven anger. Nobody else is dead yet? All right, that's a good sign. Nope, nobody else is dead yet. Woo. All right, let's make sure mining still works. Because I'm paranoid right now. Yes, okay, cool. Fine. I was very worried about doing that. But, so now that we've got this set up, do these have cages? Yep. Okay, sweet. So now what we can do is we can dig up to where the, Bronze Boy is. It begins. And then we remove this area from this zone. Oh, right, duh. Come on. I need to redesignate it? Yep. Seems like it. Will waves go down ramps? Yep, and stairs. Is that not? How did I manage to, like, miss half the layers? I guess I can't designate these multiple layers at a time. No, that's weird. Used to be able to. You used to be able to just, like, mass burrow everything all at once, so it's just old habits, I suppose. All right, so now down here, we're going to go into here. And I'm going to set this to erase. That, and that. It's a bug? Is it a bug? Okay. Good to know. Not one that I've noticed before. Now we wait for Bronzy. And before it's already dead. I know it's not. Where are you? There you are. Get over here, tall boy. There's Johnny. And plunk. Easy peasy. Now, if you like to, we should definitely put a cork on it. So we're going to open up the front door. And we are going to... Do I have a hatch cover around? That'd be nice. Nope. All right. Well, then instead of a hatch cover, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a rump. I may also move the front door of this fort. I haven't fully decided yet. So I'm thinking about moving the front door of the fort over to here. So in order to get into the fort, or like have this as like a main door, and then when sieges show up, we close that, and then we lower a drawbridge over here, and then they have to walk like here, 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 and then in or something. I mean, I could put floor on top, but I want to use this again in case a dragon shows up. Wonder if I can train him? I don't think so. Like, unless that's been changed in this version. Yeah, he just pops up as caged guest with no training options, so nope. Too magic. Oh, is the burrow turned off? No, it's not. Now it is. What can I do with him now? I can release him somewhere. Yeah, it's always a good idea to have a little trap hall somewhere so that in case of emergency, you can lock things in a thing. Can I sell him? I think that releases him from the cage, which would be a very funny way to just be like, yo, middle finger to a caravan of people I don't like, but would also probably end with, like, there also being, you know, an army in my fort. All right, well, now at the bottom of this, I'm just gonna place a door, like, right here, which I'm gonna lock. And also a raising drawbridge at the top, which I'm also going to lock. Selling releases, they only take the cage. You found that out. It only works that way with non-trained, non-domestic, or intelligent critters. So dwarves don't believe in slavery. So unless you mod your game to make your dwarves horrible people, you can't sell intelligent critters to anybody. So if you try and cage them up and sell them and think that you're a genius, it's just going to be like, lol, no. You wanted to be a slave trader? It's not within dwarves' ethics. And also, if it does get modded into the game, I'm never going to use it. I don't care. There's certain things that I refuse to do in this game, even if players mod it in. Purely because, you know, I like the people who made this game and I respect their wishes. All right, let's do this. Go play Songs of Six if you want that, though. That lets you enslave entire factions with the click of a button. Because you're not playing RimWorld would be why. Thought that Giants kind of deserved it. I mean, it is planned for Giants to get culture at some point and have their own factions. So, hey, some migrants arrived for some stupid reason. You feel conflicted? Some games let you be a bad person. Some games frown on you being a bad person. This game frowns on you being a bad person. There's no reason to feel conflicted. Just don't be a bad person. That being said, goblins believe in slavery, so go play a goblin mod. I'm not joking. Goblins are super okay with it. They also think murder's fine. So, like, a proper goblin mod that actually let goblins run with goblin ethics would be hilarious. Because murder, totally fine. No issue. But yeah, faction ethics in this game is a whole can of worms. That doesn't surprise me at all. This is why back up everything if you're going to tweak anything with Dwarf Fort. Super happy cheering. Just because it's legal doesn't mean they'll enjoy it, right? And that's the thing that you need to remember about the way Dwarf Fortress works, is just because a faction believes something is good doesn't mean the people living there like it. Which is also why you get a lot of random goblins that are part of, like, musical performance groups and whatnot with elves. Because, like, if a certain goblin decides, man, I fucking hate it here, they will leave a lot of the time. And that's why you'll get, like, random goblins in other civs, because individual character ethics does not equal civilization ethics in Dwarf Fortress. Which is why sometimes you'll get necromancer experiments that leave and just go somewhere else and become part of, like, dwarven society because they don't like necromancer ethics. You can, and it's a lot easier, Frisco, with adventure mode. Although, when it comes to, like, making entire fortresses play with other playable races, all of the races in Dwarf Fortress are planned to be playable at some point. Just currently the only ones that are playable are dwarves. The thing is, they need their ethics and they need their limitations fixed. As an example, for some reason in Dwarf Fortress, humans aren't supposed to be able to live underground permanently because they'd go insane. Even animal people, that is theoretically planned. Theoretically. But like, if you want to play as animal people, go play adventure mode. Like, you could make an adventure party with like 12 bear men, a chameleon man, a hamster person, and 2 worm men that look like penises, and a dwarf, and then go join one of your forts and then reclaim your fort. It's not furry DLC. Dwarf Fortress is already full of furries. There's furries fucking everywhere in Dwarf Fortress. You just need to play adventure mode for 5 minutes. But no, like, just, you can make that party and you could just drive them to your fortress, park them there, get them all a drink of water, and then reclaim your fortress, and suddenly it's full of like cheetah men or whatever your adventurer party was, right? Because you can just like retire an adventurer party in one of your fortresses and then reclaim that fortress, and they'll all just be living there. Oh yeah, they can be alter ego. Absolutely. I've never actually had a map generate with playable mer people in adventure mode. I'm just stating that. Like, I've never had that, so I don't know. But yeah, no, I'm curious to see all of the crazy things that happen, because all non-domestic animals have animal people variants, because they didn't want to, for the same reason that, like, you know, the who's the pet, Goofy or Mickey, or Goofy or his dog, rather, like that question. Zach and Tarn didn't want to have to deal with that, so instead of dealing with that, they just made it so that domestic animals can't have people variants. What's up, Dilken? Yeah, absolutely. Animal people just aren't as common as like the other neighboring factions generally. But in adventure mode, they are everywhere. No bullmen? No, but you can get like, oh, what's the variant? Because there's non-domestic cattle-like creatures in Dwarf Fort. And I'm blanking on what they're called. Yaks are domestic. So are water buffalo. But they're... I'm trying to think what they are. But anyway. Moose are not domestic by default. So you could have... I think there are moose people. Bison, probably? How do you get rid of him? Crush him with something heavy. Expel him. Expel the child's parents and the whole family will leave is probably the easiest way to get rid of him. Legos. So click on the child, figure out who their parents are by going to relations, jump to their parents, and then just click this button, send this creature to a linked site or expel them, and then click expel on their parent, and then they will leave. Elk! That's one. And they got mauled by your dogs because she was definitely hostile. Animal people can also show up and be hostile. A lot of the time they're hostile, actually. No, it starts in 9 minutes. Also, the VOD will go up onto the YouTubes. Much to... So, chat, did any of you guys see that Warsim video I put up the other day? Did any of you guys see that video? There was one person in the comment section was like, why that's not Dwarf Fort, basically. And I was just like, oh, well, clearly you're new here. So, much to that one person's dismay, the VOD for the Jupiter Hell stuff will go up on YouTube. Venison is wild beef? Venison is deer. We're changing games in 8 minutes, Felsner. And I'm going to be jumping on to the voice chat with the developer of the game Jupiter Hell. Also made a game called Doom the Roguelike. And I'm going to be streaming that, and we're going to do a live Q&A. Deer or wild? What? I'm very confused. You caught a troll? Congrats. I catch a few of those with my chat room every day. All right, well, let's go down to the bottom of this and dig out this stairwell. Have I done a heavy aquifer run? Not in this version, no. So now I get to see if I can build this up. Let's see if it lets me. Grumble. I guess I will just simply do it this way, because this is just a temporary stair for while we are building this. Well, there's two main strats for dealing with heavy aquifers. You can put a cork in it, or you wait for it to freeze. Then there's the third one, which is just build pumps and pump it out, and then build through it. A child's father is the mayor? Oh, dang. Well, then, what I would do is watch him until he walks into a room by himself and lock the door. Legos. Watch him until he walks into a room and then lock the door. Strat number 4, don't settle on heavy aquifers. That is strat number 4. Yeah, wait until he doesn't move and then build a wall around him. Also a valid strat. Chat, an ad's about to go off and I need to use the restroom. So I'm going to go use the restroom. We'll let that ad play through. And then I'll finish digging out this layer. And then I think we're going to swap games. So stick around because I will recommend some Dwarfy streams. If you don't want to continue watching me play other games. I'll be back in a minute. I see Ghost and an Artifact. We'll deal with those first. All right, so we've got an artifact, which is what? Another glass furnace? God damn it. All right, well, at least they're building something, so that's good. And then we've got a ghost. Where's your body? Did we not get you immortalized? Guess not. Let's make a slab. I just had to take a leak, and my restroom is literally right there. No, I just live in a 427 square foot apartment. So it's like I walk out of my office and it's right there. So this is the Strange Mood Dwarf. Works furiously. Yay, got everything you needed. Platinum nugget, so it's going to be valuable. Copper bars, tetrahedrite, yellow jaspers, 2 pieces of glass, and pig leather. Any bets on what that dwarf makes? It's Detan, the glassmaker. Yeah, it's called an open plan apartment. It's called living in a small apartment, yeah. You have some grouchy fellas? Yeah, you should be worried about them. Try and keep them as happy as possible. The happier they are, the more efficient they are. The less happy they are, the least efficient, the less efficient they are. It'll be the best doorknob we've ever seen. That's me, though. Maybe we'll build a shower later tonight or tomorrow. Thank you for your recent review of that ASCII game, War Sim. Yeah. It was fun listening to you explain with your characteristics be the enthusiastic way. Someone accused that video of sounding like a paid advertisement. I was like, do you think that this developer has enough money to pay me? That's cute. What was the ghost? It was Raoul. There you are. Which means I guess I need to sound less enthusiastic on videos when I talk about games I like. Right. We're getting that installed. I go place it down here. Should just be the one because I don't think I have more than one. Yeah, it's just the one. That should deal with the ghost. Parnabs and Kitfox. Yeah, people won't accuse me of it being a sponsored ad when I'm just recording a video about Dwarf Fortress, but the second it's something else. Oh, Alien Slayer is a demand. You want a nickel bed? Well, good to see some things have never changed. I don't have nickel on this map, so I can't stud it, and also I can't make beds out of nickel, so I guess you're just going to have to be annoyed with me forever then. And I can't export pics. I'm doing all right, Tytech. Both of these are hilarious to me. But artifact was made. I didn't hear the sound go off. It's called Nasaran Yushel Anir. It is a green glass amulet. All craftsmanship is of the highest quality. It is encircled with brilliant-cut yellow jaspers and decorated with square-cut green glass gems and pig leather, and encircled with bands of trillion-cut green glass gems. This object menaces with spikes of green glass and copper. On the item is an image of Mistim clean blockades, the dwarf, and wood sound, the brawn crossbow, and tetrahedrite. Mistim is embracing wood sound. The artwork relates to the acquisition of wood sound in Helirax by Mistim clean blockades, the symbol of authority within the Constructive Orb in the year 79, before our fortress fell to the elves. On the item is an image of Thob Fence Swelters, the dwarf and dwarves in native platinum. Thob Fence Swelters is surrounded by the dwarves. The artwork relates to the ascension of the dwarf Thob Fence Swelters to the position of king of the Constructive Orb in the year 92, before we fell. Well, that's cool. So, let's give that to the mayor, so hopefully he doesn't get super pissy with me, you know? Does anyone export pics? I guess the traders kind of do. Also, just for current sake, we're gonna put Bronzy up here, and he can hang out with Piggy. I've sold pics before if they're super valuable and I need an export good. But chat, I think it is time. Piggy might not like him. Piggy already feels... Piggy feels repentant after being confined. Oh, I feel so bad every time I see those. But there's... I was like, Piggy already is sad enough about being confined. Piggy feels repentant? That's funny. I'm confined. I repent. Anyway, we're gonna save and return to the main menu. Chat room, say bye, YouTube. We're not leaving, but we are taking a break from Dwarf Fort for a little bit. We're gonna be jumping over to a different game called Jupiter Hell. All right. So if you're looking for a Dwarf Fortress stream to watch, and you're like, man, Blind, I hate you, I don't want to watch your stream anymore, or I like you and I'm just gonna put you in a second tab, what I would say is go watch this guy, Bellinair. He's a member of my stream team, and he's really cool. He's a good streamer, and he's entertaining. He's a fun guy, and I recommend giving him a follow. Otherwise, we're swapping games.